You've tamed the voices in your head. You've put your courage to the test. Laid all your doubts to rest.
Hi everyone, from your Intuition Queen. This is the 4th episode of Intuitive Queens, and I have the pleasure to have with me Trina Sette, who is the founder of Goal Accountability Partner Services. Hi Trina, welcome.
Hi, how are you? I'm so excited to be here.
I'm really good, and I'm really excited to have you here. So, tell us about you and how you started your journey, how you got to create your accountability partner services, and just let us know a bit more about you.
I didn't think that I wanted to be, this was not where I thought I was going to be 3 years ago. I was working for Jenny Craig. It is an American weight loss company, and I became a consultant with them, and I thought I was going to retire from there. I loved what I did so much. I would reach out to people who are on the program. Every week we had standing appointments, and I would check in with them. I'd say, how are you doing? And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm down, 2 pounds this week. And I said, what did you do? And she's like, well, I followed the program every day. And I started this exercise program, and I couldn't have done it without you. And I would hear that over and over and over. And it was just such amazing conversation, helping people get from where they are to where they want to be, that I fell in love with that. I used to be a restaurant manager. So I was a single mom, and I raised my daughter, and I was able to work part-time and make enough money to pay all the bills and take care of my daughter waitressing, and still pick her up from school and drop her off and be there as her mom. And then when she turned 16, I went into management. When you go into management, then you work 60 hours a week, and you make a little bit more money, but not really that much money. But I was comfortable. I was really comfortable there. But underneath, I had some dreams. I always knew, I think because my parents had a business, they had a trucking company, a logging company, and a roofing company.
Oh, wow.
So I think I always knew I needed to have my own business. So I kept joining network marketing companies. I signed up to do Mary Kay twice. I signed up to do telecommunications. I sold long distance. I did this thing called web TV, so you could have a keyboard, and it would just attach to your screen in your living room, so you'd have your computer. This is way back when people didn't have, I'm aging myself.
Some time ago.
When people did not have computers. But I kept trying. I'm like, okay, well, let me do this, let me do that, because I knew that having my own business was the way to go from the way that I was raised. And so I thought I loved working in the restaurant business, which I did. But once I started working for Jenny Craig, I felt that this was my purpose. Like, this was what I was meant to do. I was meant to help people get from where they were to where they wanted to be, because I had so much joy and so much passion. Like, I couldn't wait to get to work. I couldn't wait to call my first client.
And that's the most beautiful feeling, isn't it?
I didn't even want to go on vacation. I hated taking vacation. I wanted to go to work. And you'll find a lot of consultants at Jenny Craig feel exactly the same way. They feel like their clients are their lifeline. Like they love what they do so much that if you go in, and we have reviews here of companies to work for, you'll see all the consultants saying, my clients are the best part of Jenny Craig. It's really amazing. It's really amazing. So I thought that I was going to work there forever. I was planning on retiring from there. I thought that's what I was going to do. And what happened was, my husband decided he did not want to be financially responsible for his share of the bills in the household anymore. And he was an alcoholic, and I didn't realize it when I married him. I just thought he was a lot of fun. I had never been around an alcoholic before. So I found he was very how do we say, he has social anxiety disorder is what he has. However, he learned to control that, which social anxiety disorder is a disorder where you get very afraid when you're around other people. Like you get very withdrawn, very quiet. So you're very uncomfortable. You don't know what to say. You prefer to stay in your room and not be around other people. However, when he was 14, he had a girlfriend in middle school whose mother allowed them to drink alcohol. And when he drank, he would loosen up and he would laugh and tell jokes, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're so funny. And that was his cure. So alcohol became his cure. Now, these days, there's medications and things that you can take for that. But what he learned is that alcohol helps him. So it helps him come out of the closet and be more, I didn't mean come out of the closet. I mean,
lose the inhibition and the fear.
Yeah. And so he was a high functioning alcoholic. He was a lot of fun, but he was also very happy if you just left him alone, and he would be sitting in a room and he would do, you know, his man cave and do Sudoku puzzles, and he didn't want to participate anymore. So when we kind of split up, I needed to earn some extra income. And I knew that there was a lot of people that made a lot of money doing network marketing. And so I decided to add that to my Jenny. I didn't want to leave Jenny Craig. I just wanted to make additional income. And so I went on YouTube and I started watching a training video. And I was writing down notes, and then all of a sudden the video ends and, you know, another one automatically starts. And I hear a man talking about how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And I recognize the voice, and I look up and it's Jack Canfield. And I'm like, I know that. Okay, he's the guy in The Secret. He's the guy who wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, which I loved. I've read so many of them.
And that's how I found him too. And from that moment, I read all his book and I got hooked to him. I was like, I love this guy. Yeah, it just has this aura, this power, this, I don't know. Out of everybody in The Secret, it was the one that I stuck to. Yeah.
It was your intuition.
Yes.
Led you.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So I started following him, and it completely changed my life. And I started taking responsibility, and I realized that, you know, I met my husband at a bar. You know, he's always been this way. I knew him for, you know, 10 years before I married him. There's nothing wrong with my husband. He has found a cure to fix himself. And what happened was I wanted something different. And so I still love him, and I wish him nothing but the best, but he is now my ex-husband. And I started moving on, and I learned all of these skills from Jack Canfield. And I thought that Jenny Craig was going to hire me to go teach these skills to all the other consultants. Well, the company that bought Jenny Craig was really interested in fixing it up, making the numbers look good, and reselling it. They wanted to flip the business. Like instead of house flipping, they wanted to flip Jenny Craig, make it look real pretty, and then sell it to someone else. They were not interested in what I had to offer. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, I know all of this stuff. Now what am I going to do with it? And I thought, well, maybe I'll make a documentary. And I laughingly, jokingly, this is how things happen for me. I'm like, I should just do a documentary and call it Confessions of a Weight Loss Consultant. Because I had gained 30 pounds, but my clients were over the phone, so they couldn't see that I had gained weight on. So I should just come out to the whole world and say, hey, I'm a weight loss consultant and I struggle with my weight too. So you're not the only one. And I reached out, and Jack Canfield was so excited. He wants to do this documentary with me. And so what happened was I started a fundraiser to try to raise the money to make the documentary. Think of it as like a cross between Super Size Me and The Secret. So we're going to use personal development work to get the weight off. Like I needed to work on myself. There was something going on inside me that was keeping the weight on. And so Jack was going to like basically be my therapist, like help me work through these things.
And what a therapist.
Yes. We're going to record it all. We're going to put it all on make it into a documentary. So I need to raise some money to make this. Well, unbeknownst to me, I have some limiting beliefs about money.
Oh, wow.
It all comes from, I learned from when I was little, the way that I grew up. My parents had 3 businesses growing up. I knew that I wanted to have my own business, but I also thought I wasn't going to be successful unless I was married. Because my dad did the work and my mom ran the office, right? So
Right.
in my mind, that's what I thought, and I wasn't married anymore. So the other thing is when my parents got divorced, the IRS came and took all of the money for the businesses. So then I had this belief that the IRS was going to take the money from me. I also believe that the man was the responsible one and needed to be in charge of the business. And so I'm just a girl. So how could I ever have my own? So I had all of these beliefs, and I found out that I had
that coming from you, that you had parents, because I think that I also had to work on my money mindset. But I think it's powerful what you say, because people think that limiting belief around money come only from people that maybe don't have much possibilities when they're children, and it's not true, because there is what you tell yourself when you see certain things, which is what happened to you.
We had lots of money when I was growing up. My dad had boats and cars, and he was always going on hunting trips, and he had gun cases filled with like all different types of like hunting and fishing. And I remember deer and elk on the table, and his best friend was a salmon fisherman, and they would trade and they would do all this stuff together. There was a lot of money when we were little. But however, they divorced when I was 13. So I also saw we ended up on welfare. When the IRS came and took all the money, that was child support money. So my mom had no income.
Wow.
And so we ended up on welfare. So we went to having no money. And then my mom got very sick. And so here I am, 15 years old, 16 years old, taking food stamps to the store and buying groceries for my brother and sister. So we went from being wealthy to being very poor because of what I perceived the government. So these are lessons learned as a very small child that you're completely unaware of. Yeah. Because as an adult, I'm like, oh, I'm going to start this business, and I'm going to do this, and all of a sudden you start sabotaging yourself because underneath you don't really believe it. But I had no idea that I had these beliefs.
I don't think anybody knows about what kind of limiting beliefs they have.
Yeah, but then something happened, and when Jack said, it's like, okay, let's raise this money for the movie, and I had to ask people for donations, I was like, like, I can't ask people. The really great thing about personal development is whenever something comes up, whenever you have a fear, you should really embrace it. And so you can just say, oh, that's so funny. I wonder why I'm so afraid to ask Mara about whatever.
Yeah.
Or why am I afraid? Where is this coming from? So once you figure out where it's coming from, then you can do the work on it.
But I think that's the difficult part, because asking yourself, why am I thinking this? Why can I not do this? Why do I feel in this way? That is difficult, because you know that something is coming up from there.
Yes.
So it's really working on yourself and really asking that question that bring you forward. But if you're too afraid to even ask that question, that's where you're gonna stay.
Yeah. Or the real truth of the matter is I have a saying, it's you don't know what you don't know until you know it. People are so completely, most people are so unaware that they have the ability to change their thoughts, change their emotions, change how they feel about something. They think it's like my daughter, there's a spider, every single time she screams, she runs, she jumps, she's 30 years old, and she sees a spider, and she's like practically on top of the table shaking to get away from it. Most people are like that. They see a mouse, or somebody ticks them off and it's the wrong way, and somebody cuts them off in traffic, and they have all this rage inside, and they think that's just the way that I am.
Yeah.
And they don't think that there's anything against. So that's how I was until a couple of years ago, until I saw Jack's transformation. I really complained about my husband all the time. I blamed him for our finances. It was just, that was my life. And I had two girlfriends with their husbands. We would all travel together, but I would sit with them and we would complain about our husbands. Oh, you're not going to believe what he did last night, and blah, 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 blah. We drink our coffee, and this was fun for us. Never, and obviously we're all trying to figure out how to manipulate them and get our husbands to be the way that we wanted them to be. And I tried to be like, if I walked on eggshells, and if I said it to him in this way, and what if I said it in this way, and then I'll try it again in another way. And so I was constantly trying to manipulate my husband into anything, maybe being more affectionate, being more present, whatever it was.
Yeah, something that you wanted from him.
Yes, instead of working on myself. And that's what happened when I say I stumbled on Jack Canfield. I think the universe planned the entire thing. Yeah. I think that I was drawn to Jack Canfield so that I could learn to love my husband and work on myself, and realize that my husband's journey was his journey, and it's up to him to make those changes. And the best way that I can encourage him to make changes is to do the work on myself.
Yeah. I've been told that once when I was struggling with something. I was with this person, and she said to me, Mara, you cannot change other people, even if you love them so much and you can see from your point of view, because now you have some sort of knowledge of those things. There is nothing you can do for them. The only thing that you can do is continue to work on yourself, and things will change, because you will change your energy and your way of thinking and your perception. And she was right. It's so true. Sometimes, though, it's very difficult.
Yeah, it is. It's because we so badly want to help them, and they're like, wait, because we're like teachers. It's like, oh, I just learned this new thing, let me help you. And they're like, what, are you crazy?
Yeah.
No. I had people stop being friends with me. I mean, one of my very best friends is not my friend anymore because she thinks that there's something wrong with me because I'm happy all the time. Isn't that crazy? She's like, you should be crying. You love your husband. He's your entire world, and you're not even upset anymore. And I'm like, I've been crying for 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm okay. He's okay.
Enough.
We're okay.
Yeah.
She's like, I talked to my therapist, and she said, maybe you're bipolar or something, and I think you need help. And I'm like, no, you just need Jack Canfield. and now she told my daughter I joined a cult, and it was like, really, I mean, it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess over here.
This topic of losing people, I had this conversation before, and it happens to everyone. It's just because there is not a person that doesn't tell me about this. Like, the moment you start to develop yourself and you start to go into your journey and commit to your journey and a change of life, whatever that is, some people start to look at you differently, start telling you what to do and what you're doing wrong.
Yes.
And that's when you lose them, because you can't stay around them anymore when you have to continuously hear people judging you for your choices of being happy, to want to be happy.
And you can't unlearn what you learned.
No.
Like, I learned E plus R equals O, event plus response equals outcome. I can't unlearn that and go back to being a victim.
But you also don't want to.
Well, I don't want to, but I can't. But I can't. I am actually a different person now. I actually have a new belief, and it doesn't matter how upset you are with me for E plus R equals O, and how I've changed how I react, the R factor. I changed how I react, and now respond to things. And it's like, oh, she's upset because of this, so I don't get upset anymore. Now you don't want to be my friend? And it's like, it's okay. The great thing is you make new friends. Like,
that's right. That's right. Yes. I was saying to a friend of mine the other day, I was like, if they delete me on Facebook because I'm doing what I'm doing, that's better, because I can add more people. And Facebook is just, the easiest way to put it. But it's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
You open the door to some greater people, some people that are better.
Yeah, they're more aligned to yourself.
More aligned to yourself. There's nothing wrong with the people that think differently than you. They're just at a different growth. It's like you wouldn't tell a 5-year-old you're dumb, you're stupid, I don't want to be friends with you, because they don't believe what you believe. So it's the same thing. They're just in different stages of their growth.
Yeah.
They may stay here for a really long time, and then something could happen. All of a sudden they shoot way up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
they have a near-death experience, or somebody invites them to hey, go to a Tony Robbins event or something, and they're like, what? Okay, I'll go, just because they want to go with the person, not because they really know anything about what they're going to. I went to Breakthrough to Success with Jack, thinking that I was going to have breakthroughs to teach me how to be a better network marketer.
Right.
I thought that I was going to learn all these mad skills, and I was going to come out and become this millionaire network marketer because I had breakthroughs to success. And I did, but it was totally not what I thought was going to happen at all, right?
But that's what happens when you go to those kind of events. You have your expectations, and then you come out of there and something else that you needed to work on comes up, and you're like, okay, got it. Let's do this. No, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely, that's how those things are meant to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So after you gone through all this transformation and moment of difficulty, if you want to say, what happened? How did you manage to move forward? What were you feeling inside? What were you thinking?
So I was thinking, man, Jack, so I found out about my limiting beliefs because I hired let me see, how do I say this? I was watching something on Facebook and it said Brainathon. And I clicked on it, and it was John Azaraf from The Secret. He's also in The Secret. He has something called the Brainathon. And if you have, and so I signed up to watch the Brainathon, and they sent an email. And it's, if you have limiting beliefs around money, he had a program called Winning at the Game of Money. And I was like, I know that I do, because why am I not asking people to do this document? How many people get an opportunity to do a documentary with Jack Canfield? But yet I won't ask people to raise money to make this documentary. So I joined his program, and I had to listen to these earbuds in both ears, and it plays these tones, and he's talking, and it basically builds new neurons in your brain, and it changes your brain on what you think about or how you feel about money, which is how I found out that I had all of these limiting. I knew I had them, I just didn't know what they were. But I found out what they were, about the taxes, and you have to be married, and I'm just a girl. All of those things started coming up. And then once I found out what they were, then I was able to go through and break through them. Well, it's a 12-week program. Every day for 12 weeks, you listen to these messages, and he has video trainings. On day 7 of week 12, it's my very last day doing this. Jake, my coach, says to me, I had decided to hire a coach. He says to me, so what do you want to do? Like, you've got the documentary, you're going to do the book. What is it that you really want to do in your life? Like, where do you want to be? Because obviously the documentary's done and gone. Then what am I going to do, right? And I said to him, on day 7 of all of this training about limiting beliefs about money, I said, I should just be a professional accountability partner, because people keep asking me to be their partner, because it made a huge difference in my life. But I was kind of joking. And Jake says, you should. And I was like, no. I'm like, I don't have a website. He goes, Trina, he goes, all you need is a pen and a phone. You can do this. And I was like, really? Really? It was amazing to me that I thought this all up after so there's ideas around you all the time. You have what's called a reticular activating system in the base of your skull, inside your brain, and it's blocking out things that are unimportant to you, and it's only sending you things that you need to know. Like right now, you're not thinking about your your right foot until I just said that. So now you could probably feel your toes moving around inside your right foot, right? But you didn't need to know that your right foot was there. It was always there. But
Yeah.
until you put focus on it, you weren't aware of it. So if I were to say and create an awareness or say something to myself, it's like, well, how could I, make a business out of this? All of a sudden, all of these ideas start coming to me and I start having all of these thoughts. And so this is what happened to me. The last day of the last week of the training was I thought about becoming a professional accountability partner. And Jake, my coach, encouraged me to do so. And within a week, I had clients. I started asking people to do like a beta, like a trial. And I gave them free weeks while I built it. And then I had to learn, I'm like, okay, don't coach them because it's not Jenny Craig, right? I'm not going to coach them on what they did wrong because then I don't want to be a coach. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be just an accountability partner to keep them on track.
Yeah.
And I built this whole system that completely works, that people just love. Jack Canfield, I saw him about a month later at an event, and I said, look at my new business card. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, you're a professional accountability partner. How cool. Like, it's because of him. He made me leave BTS, the Breakthrough to Success event. He said, everybody leave here with an accountability partner. And what I didn't realize was that's what I was with Jenny Craig for 8 years. Yeah. And then I got one at his event and I left there with her and we spoke every day, Monday through Friday. It was like, so how'd you do? And she's like, I'm like, I did this. And I'm like, me too. And we did.
And it's really exciting when and I think it's amazing. Like I think the accountability partner could be your friend or whoever, but you don't want to let this person down. So if in a normal situation, you would be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't feel like it. I might do this. Then no, because when you have to report to someone, you really want to make sure that things that you said you were going to do, you are doing it. And it builds a lot of excitement, and you work on yourself, you work on your goals, and you move on. You keep moving, and it's only because you have that thing that you don't want to let the other person down, and you also want to hear from the other person, how did they go, and that excites you more and more, and that builds up all positive feelings, and it just spiral going up instead of going down. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so tell us now about how does that work, and what do you do? How exactly does your accountability partner service work?
I want to touch back on something that you just said about, so when you have a boss and you go to work, he's basically your accountability partner. So you don't need a boss to tell you to do your job, because if you don't, you won't get paid. And so they kind of are your accountability partner. Also, your kids or your body's a little bit of an account. It'll tell you when you're hungry. Your kids aren't going to let you slide. But to get your basic needs met, you don't need an accountability partner, because we're human beings and we know what we need to do. But if there is something special that you want to do that is going to create a win for you personally, or create a win for your clients, or create a win for the universe, the first thing that happens if we get busy is we stop doing that thing, the extra thing. So if you want to lose 20 pounds, if you want to write a book on, how you got where you are, if you want to start a network marketing company, if you want to start your own business. I have a lot of clients who are real estate agents. They are their own boss. And so what happens is with an accountability partner, the person who is hiring me, in this case, tells me what their goals are. They already know what their goals are, what their dreams are, what they're trying to accomplish. And then I help them break that down into a bite-sized pieces. So let's just take the real estate for instance. This one lady, Sue, she wants to increase her bottom line by 25%. She wants to make 25% more this year than she did last year. So I don't know anything about real estate. I'm like, okay, so how do you do that? She said, I need to attend one networking meeting per week with a minimum of 20 other people. So new people, she needs to introduce herself to new people. She needs to write 2 handwritten notes every day to people that she's met at these networking meetings. It was so nice meeting you. I look forward to talking to you. So 2 notes a day. She needs to view 5 homes a week, so she knows what's on the market. So every day she would go view 1 new home. So she broke it down for me and told me what she needed to do. And then we had a strategy. And then I called her on Monday and I'm like, so how did it go? And she goes, oh my gosh, I wrote a note. I saw a house. I did this. This was fantastic. And I'm like, yay. And she's like, I'm so excited about this. She goes, I don't want to let you down. And I'm like, I know, but like, look what you're doing for yourself. And I'm like, so what are your goals for tomorrow? And she goes, you know what, to increase my bottom line, I just need to do the same thing every day. And so for her, she kept the same goals every day for like 4 months, and she got new clients, and she even old people she had sold houses to 10 years before decided to relist with her. Like, it happened. She got it. It didn't take a year. You
create that momentum. When you see things happening, you want more.
Yes.
And you realize that you did it because of that service and that situation, and you continue. Yeah.
And so it's also a confidence builder. So if someone has a goal, like I want to lose 20 pounds, so I'm going to drink 8 glasses of water every day, and I'm going to work out for an hour, and I'm going to eat 6 times, 3 meals and 3 snacks, and I'll be in by 10 and I'll be up by 6. Okay, those are great goals. What are you currently doing? Well, currently I don't go to bed till 1 in the morning, and I get up about 9:30, and I eat twice a day. I usually have a big, huge lunch and a big, huge dinner, and I don't drink water at all. I only drink coffee and soda, right? So how likely is that person to complete those goals on Monday? Not very likely.
Yeah.
We need to take those goals and break them down and to like, okay, so why don't we go to bed by 11 and let's try to get up by 8, right? So it's not so it's so extreme. And why don't we just start with 1 glass of water every day, 1 cup. And then they're like, oh, I can do 1 cup. Even if I'm going to call them at 8 in the morning, and if they hung up the phone with me at 8 a.m. the day before, and at 7:55, they will run to the sink and grab a cup of water and drink it. So they can say, I drink 1 glass of water. It's amazing what people will do, but
it's so true.
Manageable. It has to be manageable. Otherwise, you won't do it. You'll get overwhelmed and you'll quit. And my partners and the people that I train to do this know that. And so their job is to build self-confidence, make sure. And now, if you're doing it every day, it's like, okay, I'm doing this. Like, okay, do you want to a little bit? Should we do 45 minutes of activity, instead of 30? And then we want to stretch you a little bit. But I mean, rarely that happens. We break it down until and you have that self-confidence in it, and you build that habit.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a habit. And once you learn to drink that glass of water, you're going to naturally go to 2. And, and increase, because that becomes so part of you. You don't even think about it anymore. You just do it.
And, right now it seems hard. It would be very hard for me to drink 8 glasses of water if I'm not even drinking 1.
Exactly. That's the thing. And it just built up from that moment, and then how you get to your end goal at the end. And that's how people start to be like, okay, I can do this. If I can do this, I could do something else. And that's true. You build confidence. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's what I did. I started this business, and I kept it going, and it's been 1.5 years now. And what happened is a lot of people were asking me if they could work for me. And inside, I knew I didn't want to be a boss. I didn't want to be a manager. I did not want to have a call center. I didn't want to write people up. I didn't want to be a boss. So what I did was, how can I asked the universe, I'm like, how can I make this work? You know what I could do? What if I teach other people how to be professional accountability partners? What if I train them and then certify them? Because everybody wants to be certified, right? I'll give them an actual certification. And then it was like, well, then how are they going to, they don't know how to do it and they don't have websites. And I'm like, well, what if I gave them a piece of my website? So they have a replicated website and I put their picture and their bio, their calendar, so people could book with them, and then their PayPal on it. So now it's their business. So
Right.
I train you, certify you, and give you your own business. Then if you choose and put you in a Facebook group to teach you how to market, like marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have an option of buying in for $65 a month. I do a lot of public speaking, and so I tell everybody, open up your phones, go to your browser, type in
Right.
goforgoals.net, and everybody gets a free week. You all get a free week of
Okay. Tell me
Yeah.
then properly. Let's tell our listeners and our people watching exactly how it works, because now it's not just for the people who want to have an accountability partner. You can become an accountability partner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell us what if I want to become an accountability partner, what do I need to do? And if I want to have an accountability partner, what do I need to do?
Okay. So if I was at an event or I'm speaking on a podcast like yours, I would say, everybody listening, go to your phone and open up your Google or whatever it is, and you type in Go for Goals AP, which stands for accountability partner, Go for Goals AP.net. And they put in their information and it sends it out to my partners like round robin style. It'll go to Paul, then to John, then to Mary, then to Susan, then to Paul, then to John. Everybody who puts it in gets a lead from me. So you can opt in, my partners can opt in to get those leads if they wanted to. But everybody listening right now, you all get a free week. You don't have to put in your credit card or anything, nothing. Because I got tired of people taking my credit card and I forgot to cancel. And then I get charged, and it was just terrible. So I want everybody to try it first for a whole week. You're going to get a strategy session.
Okay.
So you're going to tell them what your goals are, and then they're going to break them down into manageable pieces. They're going to work with you for a whole week for free. If you decide that you want to continue, then you tell them, or they'll send you a link and you just sign up with them, and it's $99 a month. That's if you want to. This is not a high pressure sale. It's either you want it or you don't. It's not even
a call every single day, right?
Every day, Monday through Friday.
Monday to Friday.
You'll get a call. So imagine what you can get done in 1 week if somebody's checking in with you every day to make sure you did it and encouraging you. You know how many people don't have someone telling them they're doing a good job?
Yeah.
And that they're proud of them and they're excited for them. I mean, imagine all the things that are going to get done in the world just because people are said, you know, that's a really good idea. Let me help you with that. How can I help you? What are your goals? What do you have to do first? Okay. All right. I'll call you tomorrow and check in on you. And you're going to do it because someone's checking in with you. We have great ideas and we don't follow through because there's nobody checking in on us.
That's so true. That's so true. Okay. So this is if you want to have an accountability partner.
An accountability partner.
If people want to become one?
If you want to become one, you're going to go to goforgoalsap.com. And that's my website. And in my website, you can see about us, join. You'd click on join here or join our team. I think it says join our team. And you're just putting in your information. That information is going to send you over to a course. It's an online course that you would take. You sign up, you look at it, you decide maybe there's some preview courses or previews you can look at first. It's $24.99. And what happens is you go in, you do the course, it takes about 10 hours. So you could literally do it all in one day.
Right.
Then you sign up for your certification. Your live certification is with a real life person. And that person is going to have goals, and you are going to call that person and you are going to do the strategy session with them, help them break their goals. And you'll totally be able to, because I train you how to do it. And I let you listen in on a lot of training calls in the training. So you're going to basically copy everything that just happened, help that person set up their goals. Then you're going to call them Monday through Friday make sure that they followed their goals. And at the end of that week, you'll be certified. You'll get your own website with your bio and all your stuff, and you'll have a business.
Amazing.
And you can start taking clients right then.
Fantastic. Then go check her website, whatever you want to do, be an accountability, have one, and have a look. And it might be a good option for you to be one or the other, to be both.
Yes.
All right, Trina, thank you so much. One thing before we go, if you had to give an advice to the people watching us and listening to us, what would that be?
You know, I would say, this sounds funny, I'm not saying it because of who you are, but I would say follow your intuition. If you have an idea, do it. Take action on that thought that you had, because I mean, I thought I was going to work for Jenny Craig and train people to be professional, or to be better coaches. And really what the universe had in mind for me was that they were going to train me how to be a professional accountability partner, and I was going to launch my own business, and then I was going to share it with the entire world. This amazing, I'm the only one out there doing this. If you Google accountability partners, it's like my name's right at the top. It's me. I'm the only one doing this. And so it's an amazing place to be, but I followed my intuition. I had a feeling, and so I did it. I just took action and I did it.
And you said that at the very beginning that you knew you had to do something by yourself. So it's that knowing.
Yes.
It's that knowing. It doesn't matter if you don't know the exact details, but you have a knowing inside. That's your intuition.
Yes, exactly. So that's what I would say.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Trina. That was fantastic. I absolutely love your story. And everybody watching, listening, check her out. And thank you so much for being here, Trina. It's been a pleasure to interview you. And thank you for watching and listening. If you want to get in touch with Trina, I will put all her details in the box below and in the notes. If you want to get in touch with me to ask me questions, or to know more about the guests, or to just know more about me, you have all the details below as well. Just look for the Intuition Queen, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Your mind is clearer than before. Your heart is full and wanting more. Your future's at the door.